Thank you for taking the time. Do I call you RPW? Do I call you Robert? Do I get the Bob treatment? How do people call you?
I mean, I always introduce myself as Robert, and I go by Robert Palmer Watkins, my full name, just because Robert Watkins was too basic. There's a lot of Robert Watkins, so I included my middle name and my actor name. But no, and all my friends just end up calling me Rob, so Rob is fine.
There's that, but then there's also one of the greatest singers of all time was Robert Palmer,
That
and one of the greatest rock critics ever was Robert Palmer too.
yes.
So I assume the SAG card thing, you had to go. There's already a Robert Watkins. There's already a Robert
Yeah.
Palmer. Three name
Yeah.
treatment.
Exactly. So I had to use all three. But yeah, everybody always asks me, they're like, did your parents just love Robert Palmer, the singer? And I'm like, nah, Palmer is a family name. My grandfather was named Palmer, and my dad's middle name is Palmer. So kept it
There
going.
you go. We'll come back to the music in a bit because I see the great photos to your right. Trapped In is the new project. When did you actually work on it?
We shot Trapped In actually during the pandemic. So
Oh,
it was, yeah, it was really interesting to be shooting a movie called Trapped In when we were actually trapped in. It was not hard to kind of jump into that world because that's how we were all feeling anyways. Us actors, the prep work was already done because we were all feeling cooped up. I mean, I think we were about halfway through the lockdowns. So at that point, we were pretty caged, feeling caged. So yeah, the world of being trapped in the movie was very close to home, I guess you could say.
how much prep was needed on the cycling end? Because some actors go full on method. They find out, okay, I'm part of a cycling team. So the months leading up to this, I'm going to live like a cyclist. And then other people go, it's all on the page. I don't care. I'm an actor.
Well, I mean, so what was really cool about the cycling stuff was Leah Sturgis, our producer, creator, writer, director.
Hmm.
This was her baby. She created this story, this project. We even shot this at the home she had in Malibu, which unfortunately just burned down, which is so sad. So shout out to Leah right now. She's going through it. But yeah, we shot the movie at that house, and because it looks up in that area of Malibu in the canyon that she lived in, it kind of looks like one of the remote areas of France, where she actually owns a cycling team, and they would do training and stuff. A lot of these teams will go travel and they'll train at high altitudes to get their body ready because it's harder to breathe, and they just really it
Hmm.
puts your body through a different kind of more intense prep for a race. So they train up at higher altitudes. So where she lives in Malibu kind of looked like a remote area that her team had trained before in the Alps of France or something like that. I'm not sure the exact area, but it worked well for that. And yeah, it was cool because she actually had, because she sponsors and owns a cycling team, she had all of her guys, all of her team members come and join the movie. So the gear that we're wearing, the bikes that we're riding,
Oh,
the wardrobe, that's all at legit stuff from her actual team. And we're actually us actors, myself, Matt Rife, the actors that are in the opening scene and in some of the bike riding, cycling scenes were all the other guys. Those are the real cyclists. So, so a lot of the guys that you're seeing riding are her actual team. So they knew what they were doing. So we actually were
mhm.
able to kind of just jump in and ask them questions and hey, how do we want to look legit? How would you hold this? Where would you position your hands on here? How would you change the gears here? How would you file? Because they even kind of cycle in line together as they're riding and kind of rotate at the same times. And I play Greg and I'm kind of the leader of the pack. So I was kind of, I had to kind of, as we're cycling, I kind of called the shots, and we all kind of orchestrate our bikes together on the roads. And I don't think there was a ton of prep work as far as like beforehand. Um,
Yeah.
because like I said, we were in a pandemic. So like, I mean, honestly, a lot of things were shut down. So I don't even really know how we would have trained. But there was a lot of time on set with the actual team that we were able to kind of get guidance as we were filming. And it was fun because the cycling guys, they weren't actors, but because they were there, Leah was like, well, I want you to say a line and let's have you say this and let's have you like
Oh,
she threw her guys some acting moments. So they were asked, we got to kind of coach them a little bit on acting and they got to coach us actors, that were riding in the scenes on cycling. So it was kind of it was cool.
that is very different than the kind of writer director that goes, these are the words on the page. You missed one, cut.
Right. Yeah.
So,
Some of the words, some of the words on the page were supposed to be for the riders. It would be like, rider number one or rider number three. And so they were always going to be given to
mhm,
one of the riders. But yeah, no, Leah's very kind of also a creative in the moment. If something feels right, or if we already we got the scene, what's on the page, let's do
right.
the scene again. And if anything comes up, or if somebody wants to improv or throw a line in, we want it to be natural and we want people to kind of like you want the world to feel real.
Right.
And it's a group of guys on a cycling team. There's going to be shit talk. There's going to be little comments thrown in. There's going to be laughter and extra noise in the background. So she was cool with letting us kind of improvise and play a little bit, which is always, I love that personally as an actor. When a director is open to kind of, sticking to the page mostly, but make it real, make it feel real. Life isn't perfect. Conversations are messy and sloppy. People do drop lines and so they interrupt each other, they cut each other off. So just make it, we wanted them to, we wanted the audience to feel the camaraderie between these guys that, they're all buddies. It's like a frat. They're all on a team together, training together. So
Yeah. I'm surprised that Matt Rife would want to be in a movie where he gets to improvise and just have loose conversations with people.
that's hilarious. Yeah, right. That's like his. Hey, that man, he's
That's
great at
all he
that.
does.
Yeah, no, I know.
There you go. So, if the kudos can keep coming to you keep going from um, acting property that has a cult following to acting project with a cult following. So when I look at the General Hospital, The Walking Dead, etc., what you're doing now, how much of that was the game plan when you started in your early days?
Oh gosh. I mean, I don't even, this career has been so wild. I've been an actor now for over 20 years and I've been doing it in LA professionally and sometimes making money doing it for uh like I don't know, close to 15. So I don't know if I ever really knew or imagined where I'd be right now. There's been so many ups and downs. It's such a like roller
Yeah,
coaster of a career as an artist. But no, I didn't really, I mean, when I started, I didn't really have necessarily a plan of like, okay, I want to do this type of thing and then transition to that type of thing. I just knew I wanted to work. I knew that the dream is to just get to do what I love and get paid for it and to be able to survive off of art. Um, and however that ends up happening, like I didn't know that I was going to be on a soap opera. That kind of came out of nowhere, and I booked that role of Dylan Quartermain on General Hospital, and that opened a ton of doors for me. And then, as an artist, you run through the doors and you hope that it's going to lead to another opportunity, and then that leads to another opportunity, and another random audition comes in for Walking Dead, and you go, "Oh my God, Walking Dead!" And then I booked that, and that leads to it just kind of happens. And some things you don't book, and you wish you had, and that could have led you a whole different direction. And then some things you
sure.
book, and that leads you this way. So I've just kind of I just kind of have gone with the flow, man. And the flow has sometimes been amazing, and the flow has sometimes been really, really difficult, out here. It's not an easy career, but it's definitely a fulfilling career. And I love, there's nothing like when they call action and you get to just do what you love. I mean, that's just the dream.
Well, people don't talk about the patience of the actor because this is a movie made during the pandemic, and here we are 2 to 3 years later talking about it. So, how do you function in everyday life knowing I did this, but I can't talk about that?
You mean like waiting for the movie to come out and not giving away spoilers and stuff like that? Or
Yeah, because a lot of people have the non-blessing of knowing I did this, but I can't talk about it because the Hollywood Reporter hasn't unveiled or lifted the embargo yet. And contractually, there's NDAs, and I can't
right,
give
right.
away plot points about cameos. So you go, okay, so I just did this thing. And normally, when you small talk with people, you talk about what you've been working on, but you can't talk about what you've been working on. How do you deal with that personally?
Yeah, I mean, I like to, ideally, I love to stay busy and go from project to project. Like I like to I mean, the dream is to do a project and kind of already have something lined up to jump into next so that your brain doesn't you don't even have time to think too much about it because you're already focused on something else. That's the dream. That doesn't always happen. In fact, a lot of times there's more of a
Sure.
gap between projects because for all kinds of different reasons. But I mean, for me, I'm pretty good at promoting and posting. Like if I'm working on something, I like to post on my Instagram, a picture of me on set, or if we're allowed to, obviously, sometimes you can't
Right.
post anything, but I like to, if I'm allowed to, and it doesn't give away any storyline or anything, I like to kind of keep my followers and people that follow my career. I kind of like to show them, hey, I'm working on this, and then I'll, when the poster comes out, I'll post, I'll share the poster, and when the trailer comes out, I'll share the trailer. So that usually keeps people pretty happy, and that keeps me excited about the projects too. But yeah, I mean, I try not to give away too much information, because you want to give people enough to remember that you've got something coming out, but you don't want to give it away any spoilers, you know what I mean? So,
Hmm.
and you don't really, sometimes you don't know when it's going to come out. Like Trapped In, we shot,
Right.
a few years ago now, and it was just because of the pandemic and the strike and the different delays that happened, and but there was a lot of post and CGI stuff that had to happen on this movie. So, it's been a little while, but I think the timing worked out great for this because, all of us actors have our careers are bigger now. Matt Rife is a worldwide star, and I also think that maybe, if this would have come out directly after the pandemic or during it, even though it's not about a virus like you would think it is, um, the fact that they're trapped in, I think people would maybe think it was about a corona type virus, and maybe they were
Right.
like,
Symbolism. Got it.
yeah, people were over it. Like nobody wanted to watch a corona movie while corona was going on. You know what I mean? Now
For
this,
sure.
but on the record, this is not a coronavirus movie. That's what I love about it. You kind of think maybe it's something similar to a coronavirus, and then it goes in. You would never guess the direction that it goes. So
Yeah.
that's what's really cool about it. But
Sci-fi mystery thriller.
it's got a little bit of everything. Sci-fi, aliens, mystery, horror, a little love triangle thing happening.
Sure. Well, one more career question, one or two more questions after that, and then you're free for me. You ready?
Yeah, man, let's go.
Okay, so are we allowed to know what's next? Where we can see you next, or do we just have to check the Instagram to get those set photos and wait?
No, I mean, please follow me on Instagram. I love chatting with people in there, and I love keeping everybody up to date with the things I got coming out. No, I can totally tell you here though, but yes, Instagram is where I'm pretty good at Instagram. I'm learning TikTok. I'm not great at it.
It's a different skill set. I mean, to rudely interrupt you here,
No, no.
I will post the same content on YouTube, Instagram, and TikTok, and it'll usually do really well on YouTube, do tolerably well on Instagram,
Right.
and die immediately on TikTok. You'll see 7 views, and you go, "What? It's identical."
We're old, man. When I go home, I try to get my nieces to teach me stuff. They grab my phone, and within a minute they've got 3 TikTok videos made. They know all the dance trends, and I'm like, you're 11. How do you know this stuff? But I'm learning. But yes, I've done a lot of that too, the reposting, on the same thing. But from what I hear, TikTok is more like they want in the moment. They want you, hey, this is me right now doing whatever, They want your personality, not but I don't know. I'm learning. We'll get there, man. We'll get there. Um
We'll get there. I took you off track, but the
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Instagram is partially how we'll find out about what's next,
Yeah,
and there is stuff
Instagram.
coming.
And there's stuff coming. I got a movie coming out within the next few months, probably called The Fostered. That's a horror movie. That's also with my friend Brittany Underwood and Robert Adamson are in that. And That's looking really good. It's in post-production now. What else? What else? What else? I think that's the only one slated to come out that I've already shot. I've got a couple. I'm starting a rom-com. Actually, tomorrow I start a rom-com, and oh no, and I've got another movie coming out called. Um, they just changed the title actually. Now it's same guy, different dates or something. They just changed the title. That's bad that I don't know the exact name, but it's on my IMDb. We're in the middle of shooting that, so that'll come out too. So I've got three movies in the works right now.
Fantastic.
And I'm hoping that 20, we'll see. I'm hope knock on wood. I'm hoping 2025 is busy and the industry gets back to work moving again. It's been a little weird and slow since we had the pandemic, we had the strike, we had this everything happening with streaming and the transition to streaming and so I think the industry is still kind of figuring out what it's going to be. Um, so I'm grateful that I've got some stuff in the works because not everybody's working right now and it's
Mhm.
good to stay, keep moving, keep the momentum. So 2025, like I'm just hoping that it picks back up. I get some good roles coming in and we get some good storytelling going.
My last question, I don't know if this opens up a Pandora's box. The photo that's above Bob Marley to your right, I can't figure out, do the angle, if that's Todd Rundgren, Gilby Clarke from Guns N' Roses. Who is
No.
that?
So that is actually Bob Marley as well. Let's see here. I'll try to.
Oh,
Yep,
okay.
that's
The
Bob
tint
Marley.
of the photo did not permit that.
Yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
you're a big Bob Marley guy, I take it.
I love Bob Marley for sure. Those actually though, my mom randomly, she's really into interior design and she shares a passion for music and film like I do, and she's very artistic. And she saw those randomly at some really cool like antique vintage shop, and she was like, "Oh, I had to get these." So she bought those because they're like original old prints, and then she got them reframed and I think she gave them to me for my birthday, and I was like, hell yeah. But yeah, no, I mean, who's not a Bob Marley fan? If you're not a Bob Marley fan, I don't really trust you, you know?
That might be the clickbait quote that gets this
I mean,
YouTube,
it's like, why would you not like Bob Marley? Are you mad? Are you sad at life? What's happening?
because you're a contrarian. Every now and then you'll meet somebody who hates the Beatles, and you know they're just doing that to stoke
They're
conversation.
just doing that to be, yeah, right, exactly.
Yeah. It's the person who complains that the sushi's not good at this place and they know
Right.
a better place. That would be saying you don't like Bob Marley, but
That's that
not
person.
about sushi, not about the Beatles, not about Bob Marley. It's about you. Thank you for your time. Congrats
Yeah,
on
man.
Trapped In and looking forward to all the future projects.
Yeah, man. Follow me on Instagram or TikTok or Facebook or X at Robert Palmer Watkins. And then do you have an Instagram for this show or for you personally? I want to make sure I follow
Yes,
and
sir. At
share.
the last name Paltrowitz.
Paltrocast.